Hi all, I am Dr. Samira Hanif, Assistant Professor, Department of English, MES Ponnani College. In our last video, we have started our discussion on the lesson Letters from Mothers of Nenjamparambu to the Supreme Court by M.A. Rahman. Today, we can have further discussion on the same topic and we are moving to the actual lesson. This is actually an affidavit submitted to the Supreme Court on behalf of tens and thousands of victims who are struggling with the terrible misery caused by the poisonous chemical endosulfan, and they are suffering from deadly diseases. Many have met untimely death in the last 20 years and many children who are ill-fated are dying day by day. They are trapped between life and death. It was based on a news item that appeared in the Madhrubhumi Daily dated 9th May 2011 with the heading Newborn infant of endosulfan afflicted family dies. Newborn infant of endosulfan afflicted family dies. The child who died was born to Mamta and Narayan of Adur, Kaithodam. The child had a premature death at Kasaragod General Hospital, and he did not have eyes. Their second son, Mamta and Narayan's second son, Naveen, a 9-year-old boy, was included in the list of endosulfan victims. Their another son, Nagesh, who was 4 years old, was also affected. In her third delivery, Mamta gave birth to twins. Both children died. As an evidence, the photograph of the eyeless child was enclosed along with the letter. So, you think of the situation. In a single family, 2 children are affected by endosulfan and 2 died. And so, this is not only the lament of Naveen's mother, but the lament of many mothers from Nenjamparambu. And another victim was from Nenjamparambu. The photograph of the child was captured by a journalist called Shafi Teruvattu, moving against the authorities of Kasaragod General Hospital. To our wonder, this infant is not included in government's list of people dead due to endosulfan. The child is not included in government's list of the people who died due to endosulfan. Now, when we consider Naveen, he is a child who survives with both his legs crippled. He is even blind. He received a pension of Rs 2000 every month, and that is the only evidence to prove that this family is affected by endosulfan. Otherwise, no help from the side of government. Naveen's mother lament, the government took away the eyes of my child. They inflated his head and enlarged his neck with poison. I will bear no more children. And this is the lament of many mothers. And the above statement, the lament of Naveen's mother, is the voice of every mothers of Nenjamparambu. Through this letter, they are trying to pursue Supreme Court to the fact that there are many such mothers who lament on their fate in Kaithod Valley of Nenjamparambu. Spraying of endosulfan was stopped in 2000. Actually, it was stopped in 2000, but still the children born in Karadaka Panchayat are malformed, even after 10 years. Here, these mothers raise a question to the health department. They accuse health department of its carelessness and lack of sincerity. It is a carelessness and lack of sincerity from the part of health department, because it has stopped in 2000 and still after 10 years and all, malformed children are born in Karadaka Panchayat. So you can guess the situation. This is because their lack of seriousness. There are many people in that place with family facing multiple deaths and diseases. They also point out the truth that proper studies are not undergone in this area and consider it as a criminal negligence from the part of health ministry. It's clearly a criminal negligence from the part of health department. In 2002, the documentary A Paradise for the Dying was shot in Nenjamparambu by M.A. Rahman and team. This hill is known as Minchi Padave in Kannada. Minchipadave in Kannada. There they met Achyutan Maniani. Achyutan Maniani is a plantation laborer. His job was to mix endosulfan. He has done this job for 10 years and he has lost his health completely. From Achyutan Maniani's revelation, it is clear that the malformed children are born in Nenchamparambu due to the excessive spray of endosulfan. Endosulfan is the reason for this malformation and all these deadly diseases. And another important fact is that the vast Nenchamparambu, we should analyze the geographical condition of Nenchamparambu. The vast Nenchamparambu lies at the heart of Minchipadavu mountain in Adur. Kerala Plantation Corporation's Minchipadavu estate, which is known as Adur Estate, lies there on the top of that mountain. A huge cement tank in which endosulfan was prepared act as a landing place for helicopters. It is situated in Nenchamparambu. Around this, the pure water veins of Nenchamparambu flows, and these sources of water trickle in streams to the villages in the valley. They overflow over the top soil and the roads. There are two man-made tunnels in Nenchamparambu nearby area. A tunnel means a Turangam in Malayalam. And these streams follow to Bellur village in the left and on the right towards Adur village. Bellur village to the left and Adur village to the right, which includes Kaithodu. Adur village includes Kaithodu. Organic farmers laid out this natural pond to preserve the virginity of the soil. The water collected in these tunnels quenches the thirst of villagers in the valley during the scorching summer. So this is the geographical condition of Nenchamparambu. On the top of that, the spraying and all takes place, and there are rivers flowing downwards, and the water from these rivers are used by the villagers in Kaithodu and Nenchamparambu. And long back, one of the streams of that hill was diverted to a village in the valley through the exertions of a hard-working organic farmer called Mammadacha. This is a story of Mammadacha. Mammadacha, with his own hand, made diverted this stream to a village. He lived on the side of the hill and that dug tunnels. Armed with only a spade, he diverted the stream to the village down below. Thus, the village acquired the name Kaithodu, which means a stream made by one's own hand. Kaithodu means a stream made by one's own hand. But Mammadacha's daughter Hajara lived on the banks of that stream. Hajara's children were born as victims of endosulfan. Mammadacha made this man-made tunnel, he diverted the stream to their village, and his daughter Hajara's children are the victims of endosulfan. One of her children, Umaybata Sharia, is with an abnormally enlarged head. The stream, which her father had transformed into a blessing for the villagers, has now turned to be a curse because endosulfan buried high above has flowed downstream. Actually, he did it as a blessing to the village, but it turned into a curse. And meanwhile, it affected Kaithodu village adversely. Consequently, Umaybata Sharia, who endured torturous pain for 5 years, passed away in July 2012. And it is the negligence of the Plantation Corporation, the agricultural scientists, the Central Agricultural Department, and the manufacturers of endosulfan. They could not evade from the responsibility for this. An epidemiology study was conducted for ICMR under the Community Health Department of Calicut Medical College as per the direction of Supreme Court. They discovered high levels of endosulfan in the blood samples of Nenchamparambu. So it's there in the blood of people. Apart from this, the Kerala State Council for Science, Technology and Environment, KSCSTE, in its study conducted to test to measure endosulfan levels in the water and soil in the area, discovered endosulfan particles in Nenchamparambu. These all are the results of studies, and the studies clearly proves that endosulfan is there in the blood of the people and in the soil, in the water, etc. And very interesting to note, it was found that the lifespan of alpha endosulfan is approximately 88 days. In the case of beta endosulfan, it is 40 days. The presence of endosulfan in the soil even after 10 years shocked the scientists, because alpha endosulfan, the lifespan of alpha endosulfan is only for 88 days, and beta endosulfan is only for 40 days, but the victims are there even after 10 years, and this shocked the scientists. The deputy director of KSCSTE was of the opinion that since endosulfan remained in the soil of the Nenjamparambur even after so many years, there is a possibility of having it contaminated with food chain. That may be the reason, because it might have contaminated with the food chain. From plants, it must have entered to vegetables and fruits, then to animals, and then to human body, and this wreaked havoc. From the study conducted, it would be revealed once again that the countless deformed children who lead a death in life are a creation of endosulfan, undoubtedly. The Central Agricultural Department, which is manifesting undue haste to export endosulfan, is actually playing with the life of people. They never try to resist this monstrous life destructive phenomena. The machinery profiteers among the academic community of the agricultural scientists are ignorant of the geography or culture of Kasaragod. They are trying to deprive the victims of even the basic humanitarian consideration they deserve. Shockingly, the manufacturers of the pesticide have issued notice against the doctors in that area who conducted studies. The NIOH study of 2002 has proved that these diseases are caused by endosulfan. The writer even openly state that the CA department suppressed this 92-page report, and it is they who stayed clear of trouble. Had the government taken the initiative to conduct autopsy of the victims who are dying day by day and undertaken legal measures to ascertain the levels of endosulfan in the fat accumulated in the internal organs of the victims, matter would have come easier and more scientific. The government is not taking steps to do autopsy of the persons who died. And the authorities are not taking the needed steps. And we have to say another shocking contradiction referred to this in this affidavit is that the Central University of Kerala was now it's running, but it was allotted land of 300 acres in Periya by the government of Kerala. The situation was such that the land will be accepted only if it is uncontaminated by endosulfan. We have to make sure that it is uncontaminated by endosulfan before handing over the land to the Central University of Kerala. The pesticide issue is impacting the rights of civil society. And on the whole, now the villages of Kasaragod have become the setting of macabre dance of death. On one hand, there is dread trepidation about the poison deposits in Nenjamparambur. On the other hand, the everyday dance of death. The affidavit was submitted before the Supreme Court on the firm conviction that those reasons would be enough to ban endosulfan. Moreover, that affidavit was on behalf of the infants of Nenjamparambur. So, this lesson is of crucial importance because it was successful or instrumental in bringing out a Supreme Court verdict in favor of the endosulfan victims. So, I hope you understood the lesson. That's all. Thank you.